Hello.
Hello, Katya. Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Lincoln, you're here.
Yes, I am back. Missed you guys.
Missed you too, dude.
Were
Yeah,
you on vacation?
I wish. We actually implemented Workday earlier this year, so we're in a stabilization period. So this is the
Okay.
first time that we're actually conducting fiscal year in close in the new system. So there's a lot of fun activities happening right now. It's a lot of
Fun
late nights.
times. Fun times.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome. We have a new participant, Jesse Lee. Welcome to do we just call you Jesse?
Yeah, you can call me Jessie. Yeah. Hi, nice
Are
to
you
meet you guys.
are you really in Malaysia?
Yeah, I'm Malaysia. Yes.
So
I'm
what time is
Malaysian.
it
Yeah.
there?
Now it's 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Okay, good. I was thinking, oh, I hope it's not like 3 a.m. Okay, perfect. Cool. Okay. So Jessie is getting ready to take her CBAP in just a few weeks, and so she just joined us for the last few. Jessie, there's some things that I can add you to, but I didn't want to add you without you knowing what they were. So I thought I'd let you participate in this and we can talk about it more.
Yeah.
Uh, Folks, are we doing chapters 7 and 8 tonight, or is 6, 7, and 8?
7 and 8.
Okay, 7 and 8, requirements analysis and design definition and solution evaluation. Yes, Amanda.
I just wanted to say hi, Jesse. I'm in Sydney. So,
Oh,
hello.
hi.
There's other
Hello.
foreigners in
You're
here
this
as
far
well.
apart.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We're,
quite
yeah,
near.
maybe about eight
Wait,
hours. Are
wait.
you in K?
That
What?
means y'all are both time travelers.
Yes,
You're
we're both
coming
time
to us from
travelers.
our future. So it's
Yes.
only
Yeah,
Thursday for us. Y'all are
Yeah,
in
you guys are
Friday.
living in the
Friday.
future.
Yeah.
That's
It's 10
great.
a.m. It's 10 a.m. in Sydney now, and it's freezing.
Ooh,
Jesse,
yes,
are you in KL?
Yeah, Kuala Lumpur. Yes, correct.
Yay!
wonderful.
Welcome.
Okay. Okay. You can see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so let me show Jesse this. Jesse, this is something I can give you access to if you want. So
It's okay. I have it ready.
you
We
have it
share.
already. I'm so glad. So solution evaluation and requirements analysis and design definition are the two knowledge areas we're going to be going over in these questions today. Um, Jesse, these questions aren't perfect, but they're really good at getting us to learn the concepts. So that's why we use them. Okay, Jenna is defining performance measures for a solution. That means we're in chapter 8, right? Solution evaluation. The sponsor can define business goals, but Jenna is insistent upon understanding the business objectives. Why are business objectives that important when defining performance measures? So, if we're defining performance measures for a solution, what task are we in, guys?
Isn't it the first one?
The first
Measuring
one, you're right.
performance.
Yeah,
Measure
measure
solution
performance.
Yeah, I
performance.
don't know the names
It's
always.
okay.
I
So
Measure
don't
solution
remember the
performance.
names.
measure solution performance. The
Yeah.
purpose is define performance measures and use the data collected to evaluate the effectiveness of the solution in relationship to the value it brings. I probably shouldn't have read that to you. It probably is going to give you the answer, but I did it anyway. So here are the possible answers. Business objectives are important for a BA to understand so they have context. Jenna doesn't need business objectives to define performance measures. Business goals will suffice. Objectives provide a benchmark against which solution performance can be assessed. It is important for the BA to understand what the organization is trying to achieve. So let's give it a 5 count and we'll come back and eliminate one. Okay, which one should we eliminate?
B.
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 Let's see.
She does need business objectives. Thank you. So, which one is the best answer according to the Babok?
Best answer, I would say it's C.
Got one vote for C.
I think it's D for Dalmatian.
But me
Tell
as
me
well,
why
it
you
is
like
D.
D better.
D.
I thought A will be better, isn't it? Because
Yeah, A
business
is a good
objective
option
is
too.
yeah, because
But
business objective is one of the inputs, so should be
I was struggling between A or C, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Katia,
I
what's
think
your
Because
vote?
because it cannot be C, because for my understanding, solution performance can be assessed. It's not it's
but
not
it's the
part of the first task. This is how, like,
but it's
So,
providing the benchmark for assessment.
Oh,
So it's giving you something to measure
right.
against.
Lacan is right. It's actually C, provides a benchmark against which solution performance can be assessed. You were right.
is that answering this question?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's
Yeah.
test it.
Okay.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. I just looked it up.
So let's look at these. This is true, but this is better
Yeah.
given the
Correct.
specific task.
yeah, let's see
And
the D, please.
okay, so we understand why C is the best answer. Uh, Jesse, we have a practice that if we get an answer wrong, if we personally get an answer wrong, we just mark in the Babok with a post-it note that's area we need to study. That way we know specifically what we need to study instead of, oh, a whole chapter.
Actually, I read all the whole chapter, but I still don't understand. That's why, yeah, math practice and then get me drill to the weakest place knowledge, then I can, yeah,
You're
Very
not
good.
revise
alone there,
slowly.
Jesse.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We're right there with you. Bob
Yeah.
Churchill has joined us. Jesse, Bob is one of our advisors, another CBAP. Okay. You're a BA assessing both solution and enterprise limitations that are prohibiting the end users from experiencing the full value of the existing solution. So we're in chapter 8. You have the results of the solution performance analysis, but you're lacking a description of the current state. So tell me what task we're in, guys.
Enterprise
You're performing
limitations.
both tasks right now, right?
Mhm.
Because you're doing both the solution limitation
Limitations.
measures and
Yeah.
enterprise
Okay.
measures.
So
8.3 and 8.4.
Isn't
okay, so
it
both tasks.
enterprise?
So without the current state description, what sort of assessment will we be able to perform? Can we perform solution limitations? Can we perform you can assess value from both the solution and enterprise perspectives? You're not able to assess value from either the solution or enterprise perspectives without the current state or enterprise limitations.
I don't think they can do anything. I think it's C.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
could say.
We need the
Look at the
current
inputs
state.
into those tasks.
I think it's the recommend actions. I think it's B because we need these solutions and enterprise.
Okay. So if current state description is an input into the assess enterprise limitations, that means we
Oh,
can't do enterprise limitations, right?
Yeah. Yep, you're right.
And we can't do both, but we
Ah,
can do
okay.
We
solution
can do solution
limitations.
we can
limitations.
do solution. Oh,
Oh,
So
yeah.
solution
Yeah.
limitations can be assessed without the current state description. You gotta be aware of what the inputs, what are required inputs to get that to achieve
Yeah.
that goal.
Hmm.
Okay, to complete a thorough assessment, you want to review any enterprise limitations that may be preventing the end users from obtaining full value from your solution. To this end, you need to gather any information related to the current state. What types of factors will you need to consider? So what task are we in, guys?
Measure enterprise limitation.
Yeah.
Okay. And for that, do we need to consider any current environmental, cultural, and internal factors that may be influencing the solution limitations? Any and all solution limitation factors, including defects and constraints? The results from the solution performance analysis including collected measurements and any recommendations to solve performance gaps and leverage opportunities to improve value, or a description of the current limitations of the enterprise, including how the solution performance is impacting the enterprise. Let's take a 5 count. Let's take a 10 count and come back and eliminate one. Okay, which one should we eliminate?
B can be
Yeah,
eliminated,
B.
I would go B. Yeah,
and C can be eliminated.
Yep.
it is A.
It's A, yeah.
Yeah,
These factors are included in the current state description listed as an input into the assessing enterprise limitations. So we've got to have that for the uh, current state description.
yeah.
So that's any current environmental, cultural, or internal factors that may be influencing the solution limitations. Hey, Lynn is ensuring that the requirements and designs have been defined correctly and provide the necessary information for further work that will be performed. What task is Hey Lynn doing? So this right here is the definition of the task or the purpose of the task. Is that task that we're talking about verify requirements, maintain requirements, validate requirements, or perform quality assurance? Which one can we eliminate?
D.
Perform quality assurance.
Yeah, there's no
Definitely.
task. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's verify.
Yeah,
Not
verify.
validate, verify. Yeah, is ensuring and design have been defined and provided.
Correctly.
Yeah, verify.
So verify is has the Y in it and it's quality.
Yeah,
Quality verify. Validate is can we move forward? Does it fit the need of the business? What are the three major considerations that a business analyst must consider when conducting stakeholder? Oh, yes, Bob. I'm sorry.
I need to ask you a question, and that is, as inputs in 8.1, which is measure solution performance, there's an implemented solution external.
Yes.
And then in 8 solution or description, how are they the same and how are they different?
Okay, you cut out after you talked about implemented solution external. What's the second one?
Current state description.
The implemented solution external, first of all, I don't know why they call it external. They just do. Okay. There's no purpose I can figure out that they would call it external. So implemented solution is you've got a solution. Current state includes all the current state that's even external to the solution itself.
See, that's poor wording. It's
I agree with you.
confusing. The current state is generally what you have before you start
Agreed.
the project. And that's now the new current state, but it's not really very clear what the BABOK's talking about.
In this case, in chapter 8, current state is you got a solution in place. So I mean, the solution is already there. So your current state is it's been functioning for 30 years and it's doing.
Here's the other thing. If you look in section 8.4, there's an implemented or constructed solution external again, and current state description right by it.
Yes.
And I know, I mean,
I was looking at it from the perspective of just like Thea was saying that the solution's already in place. End users have experienced that solution and they've identified a gap or there's an issue or concern. So that current state description describes the current state of their reality, basically engaging and working with that solution. That's kind of how I interpreted it.
It could be specifically because we're in assess enterprise limitations, it could be we have high turnover and the new workforce isn't trained on this solution. It could be, we've got a language barrier with the UI. I mean, it could be a whole bunch of stuff that the current state needs to be recognizing. Here's what's going on around it as well as within it. So we have our solution, how it's performing, and then we have everything around it, which is current state. I agree the wording could be better. What we did when we wrote the BABOK 11 years ago is the best we could. And here we are. So we're going to move forward. Okay. 3 major considerations that a business analyst must consider when conducting stakeholder impact analysis on a solution. So stakeholder impact analysis on a solution. What task are we on? Here's your key.
Isn't it the 3rd of chapter 7? 1 second. I have a problem with remembering the names.
Yeah, I think this is
I
non-jury.
think you're in chapter 8.
8 still?
Chapter 8?
You've got a solution.
Yeah.
Oh, on a solution.
Ah, yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
And it's stakeholder impact analysis.
Enterprise?
Or
I think it's enterprise analysis.
External.
Yeah.
And then whenever you're doing your stakeholder impact analysis, which is one of the elements in assess enterprise limitations, what is in it? So is it policies, capabilities, and risk tolerance, necessity, opportunity, cost, and sunk cost, understanding, perception, and awareness, or functions, locations, and concerns? Let's eliminate one.
A can be
Functions,
A and B can
locations,
be
and
eliminated.
concerns. We can eliminate D. No?
Yeah, I think D is the
D.
answer. D is in
D
Delta.
is the answer?
Yeah.
So in
1 second, let's see why.
stakeholder impact analysis, you consider functions, locations, and concerns.
Ah, yeah, I saw it. I didn't read the chapter yet.
Okay.
It's good
Val
to
is
know.
a BA who's been asked to evaluate a software solution which supports vital business functions. When the software doesn't perform, employees can't perform. Val discovers after analyzing 3 months worth of recent data that the software's transacting ability deteriorates noticeably around lunchtime and significantly every Thursday about 4 p.m. What has Val discovered? Is this called a pattern, a trend, a variance, or a theme? Can we eliminate one?
Yeah.
The
C and
theme.
D can eliminate.
D can,
And we can eliminate a variance.
Okay.
It's a
So what is the
pattern.
best answer?
A
pattern sounds
pattern.
good, but I think it's a
Pattern.
trend.
I think it's a pattern.
Is it a pattern? Is it
I
a
think it's a
trend?
trend.
Pattern. I think it's a
Pattern.
pattern.
I think
I've
it's a
got
pattern.
multiple answers for A.
Huh?
Oh,
No, you're
wait.
right.
not
It is a
trend?
pattern, but the
Hey.
BABOK uses the word trend.
Exactly.
Oh,
Huh?
Babok is stupid.
Well,
I think we have to read the this is chapter 8.2.
Yeah. It threw me off too, as I was like, the BABOK uses trend instead of pattern. So as humans, we would say
The
pattern.
BABOK says you've identified a trend when things happen in the same way consistently. For some, it is a pattern, but we call it a trend because that's what the BABOK says.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which guideline and tools are leveraged upon to support assessing enterprise limitations? So we know this is our task. Are the guidelines and tools risk analysis results, future state description, and solution scope? Are they change strategy, risk analysis results, and solution scope? Change strategy, risk mitigation results, solution scope implementation, solution scope decomposition, risk mitigation analysis, and change management. Let's eliminate some of these, guys. We know some of these are wrong.
D
Yeah.
and C.
Yeah.
D.
D is wrong.
Yeah.
Hmm?
What do you think of C?
No,
Oh,
wrong. I'm not interested in the
there is no
implementation.
risk mitigation.
And there's
It's not
we're not interested in
I think
implementation.
it's B, risk analysis, change
Mm.
strategy. Yeah, we don't need future state in
We
assessing.
don't need it.
Yep.
Gotcha.
No,
No.
You're right. So the
yeah.
guidelines and tools for support assessing solution limitations are change strategy, risk analysis results, and solution scope. Which stakeholders are identified for assessing enterprise limitations of an existing solution? So assessing enterprise limitations are our task. We're in chapter 8. Stakeholders, which ones do we need? Is it end user, project manager, regulator, customer? Customer, sponsor, implementation, SME, business architect? Customer, sponsor, domain, SME, regulator, sponsor, project manager, domain, SME. First of all, do we need an end user in there?
We don't need the project manager, I think.
Yes,
We
yes.
don't need the project manager, so we can cut
Regulator
that one
and
out, and we can cut this one out.
yeah,
Mhm.
So B and C are left. Do we need the implementation SME or the domain SME?
Oh, sugar.
Have business architect, right?
I think it's a domain.
B.
Yeah, because I don't think we have a thing called a business architect as a stakeholder type, according to the BABOK. That's a guess.
You are
And
correct.
the domain are the one to give us about the solution because they are using it. Like they are the expert.
For chapter 8, the domain SME is the jam, right? They
Mm.
know what they're talking about. Remember, a domain SME can be a SME in any role. We had a question several months ago. A domain SME was an accountant, and everybody was like, they're not a domain SME. Well, yeah, they are a domain SME in their domain. They're a subject matter expert in their domain.
Sorry, I'm watching the World Cup and Sweden just scored a goal.
Well,
Yay for Sweden.
Multitasking, I see.
How does a BABOK define a requirement? What does a BABOK call a requirement? Is it a usable representation of a need, a proposal for doing or achieving something, a usable representation of a solution, or a stakeholder expectation? Which one do y'all think is the best answer?
Alpha.
A.
it's A.
Okay.
Because
This
C
is the
is
definition as listed in the BABOK. What is C?
a design.
A design.
That's a
Yeah.
design. Very good. This happens every time, no matter what. It doesn't have a name, and this one is made up.
Yep.
So we got the right answer. Jake is evaluating an existing solution. He determines that the existing metrics can't be considered quality indicators and recommends modifications. He adds in his report that he does, however, consider them valid. What could lead Jake to this conclusion that the metrics are valid? Existing indicators can't be considered reliable because they aren't collected frequently enough. Stakeholder expectations have changed, and so the existing indicators aren't reliable. There seemingly aren't key performance indicators, which every solution is required to have. The environment has changed, and so the existing indicators aren't reliable. So, which of these answers the question of he considers them valid, but they're not considered quality indicators and recommends modifications?
Oh, maybe because they aren't collected frequently enough.
Exactly.
I'm still
Because
trying to
everything
digest
else
the question. But I agree with
everything else,
Kathy.
everything else indicates, that they
Exactly.
are
Yeah.
not valid.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not reliable.
Key.
Yes. So let's talk about key metrics that aren't collected frequently enough. If you want to say we're going to measure the performance of this tool, and we want to know, is it up enough for our customers? If you measure that once a quarter, and you just do one day or once a quarter, you're not going to be able to get it. But that measurement of is it up? How many hours this day is it up would be valid if you measured it every day.
You don't have enough data to measure.
Right. You
Yeah.
don't have enough data to measure, but it's measuring the right thing. You're just not measuring it often enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Which of the following data models is typically used by an implementation SME to describe how a database is physically organized? Is it called a physical data model, a logical data model, a conceptual data model, or a multivariable data model? That is the fanciest, bougiest name I've ever heard in my life.
Sounds great though, doesn't it?
It sounds impressive, right?
Yeah.
I want to be involved in the project that has a multivariable data model. So which one is a database that's physically organized?
Bees and Bravo.
Yeah.
I
Not conceptual.
I thought it's A.
What?
Physical.
There
Physical.
is physical data model?
A physical data model talks about how it's physically organized.
What?
Okay.
I
Okay.
promise.
Yeah.
Look in the techniques in the 15th technique, and it will explain the physical data model.
Yeah, there is conceptual,
Physical.
logical, and we have physical in 10.15. Yeah.
Address
You've got all three
like
of these.
performance,
Exactly.
concurrent, and security.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Lincoln,
have
you
to read.
found something that you get to learn. I'm so proud.
Yeah, I've been trumped.
Just once. That's okay. If you spend this hour with us and find one thing you can improve, we've done our job, right?
Yes, always good. Yes.
Okay. Kevin wants to model the rationale, modeling the rationale or the why of a particular change. Which technique might he use to accomplish this task? Is this using a stakeholder list, map, or personas?
No.
Process modeling, user
No.
stories, or scope modeling? Which one is going to tell us the why of the change?
Isn't it the
Well,
school?
User
that would
story.
be user stories, I would think. But I think I remember getting this wrong, so it might not be the right answer.
Because user story got Y, right?
Yeah, that's
I
that
think
would
it's-
that's my first
This what?
instinct. Is user stories. So
Yeah,
that.
it's why.
But I have a feeling it's
Well,
it's
let's talk
incorrect.
about scope modeling tells us what we're impacting, what we're not impacting. So that's not going to tell us the
Mm,
why.
Yeah.
No.
Process
But
modeling
precious,
is going to model the process of this is how the
Yep.
process works. That's not going to tell us the why,
Well,
unless we have the pain points in there.
pain points. It might be the pain point. Yeah.
Stakeholder
know.
list map or personas isn't
No.
going to tell us the why.
No.
No.
So
Yeah,
I
sounds
think it's one of these two.
Yeah.
Not the
User
process. It's
stories.
not process modeling.
You think
Might
it's
be.
not?
No,
Okay.
it's not process modeling.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
scope.
the truth.
No.
School.
I told you, it's scope. It's the
you
one.
are so right, Katya.
Yeah.
So even though you do the why here, scope modeling,
Yeah,
you
always
use the
scope is
Yeah.
rationale modeling category.
Yeah.
That's what I miss, guys. I'm
Rationale
sorry.
modeling. What's
Which
what's
models the
rationale
why of the
modeling?
change? I
What's
don't
rationale
know.
modeling? Oh,
7.1 is specifying model requirements, and then 4, and then model requirements. It's going to be in 7.1 that explains it. Somebody want to look that up real quick?
What? A model is a
would totally
descriptive.
go with B, but
Process is not the why. Process is like you don't
It-
define the why in process.
This is going to be the what. What do we
Hmm.
do?
Yeah, it's the
no, both could be the why.
process and the
That's
scope.
an arbitrary thing.
Except the Babok says it's scope.
I
You just
know
got to
it,
learn that for the
but
test. I know.
like I said, I have no idea how I passed the stupid test.
That does not help encourage us at all.
That means that the test is better than these questions.
The test is easier than these
Easier.
questions. Absolutely. I took it twice, I know. What are the three typical components of a user story?
We just thought about it.
So, who is in there?
Definitely
So we
not
can
the
eliminate
why.
this. What is in there? Is it when, why, or how?
How?
Really?
The activities
No,
and
it's
events.
Why?
it's
Why?
Interaction.
I thought it's why, isn't it?
Why?
Who,
yes,
what, why? Who, what,
what
why?
they need,
What?
why they need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the
That's
role, goal, and motivation. So this is a role, this is the goal, and this is the motivation.
Maybe you have to study.
Or as a rule, I want to take some action, do a one to accomplish some end, which is a why.
Yeah, the justification, right?
Yep. I was a BA whenever this structure first was introduced to the public, and I'm like, well, that's a nice idea. It didn't seem hard whenever I first heard about it. And then whenever I got into it, sometimes it's hard. When you have been assigned to specify requirements as a brief statement about what people do or need to do when using a solution. So here's your definition of the technique. Which of one of the following criteria is not part of your activity? So what technique is it we're talking about? What people do or need to do when using a solution. Which technique is that?
Oh, remember.
A.
It's a technique or a task?
The technique. Specify requirements is modeling. Using the technique, it's going to, well, a brief statement is probably part of it too.
A brief statement about, which of the following criteria is not part of your, okay, not part of your activity.
So first we need to determine what the activity is before we define what.
Well, the key word here is brief statement. So
Uh-huh.
what would not be part of our activity would be detailed information.
Roles and permission metrics. No?
Okay, we've got one vote for rows and permission metrics.
But use
I
case.
still didn't
Yeah, user
understand.
stories.
Use case.
Oh, use case. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, use case. Let's go with use case. So, one or two sentence stories that allow the developer to estimate the work required for implementation. High level information that is informal. Detailed information in the form of a story that allows the developer to build through several releases. A short description of the solution capability that provides value to the stakeholder. So for a use case, let's start at the top. Is this about a use case?
Yep, that would be a use case.
Yeah.
Yep. How about this one?
I would say A would not be a use case.
Okay. Let's read through all the rest of them to be sure.
Estimating the work, yeah, is not a use case that allow the developer to estimate the work required for implementation is not.
Okay. What do we think about detailed information in the form of a story that allows the developer to build through several releases? Is that part of a use case? Is that one of the aspects of a use
No.
case?
I don't think so. I think C is the answer here.
Okay, I've got a vote for A and a vote for C. And then a short description of the solution capability that provides value to the stakeholder. Is that a
That
use
would be a
case?
use case. Yes, it is.
Okay. So how many people like A most? No hands. How many people like C most?
I like
I
Charlie.
think it's A. I
Right.
think it's A.
You like A?
It's not, I don't like A, but I think it's A. Because use case, it can,
But are we even sure the technique
you can
is
make it
safe,
through
though?
several releases by taking like a story and in a use case.
Okay.
But for me,
The
what I don't like
difficulty
is
of
estimate the work
implementing.
required. I
Okay.
don't know.
No,
What
it's
are you saying, Bob?
about what the user does, and that's D. The user could do something simple, but the background work to support that could be very complicated.
Okay. I'm going to test C. We'll see what the answer is. So, user stories, not use case. Look at us, guys. We're in totally wrong technique.
Why is user story? Oh yeah, the description used to estimate.
Even that's the wrong definition of
The wording
user
was, yeah,
story.
that's why I wasn't sure. The wording, what people do or need to do.
It's a terribly worded question.
Still,
Isn't
for me,
that the
I don't
definition
know.
of use case?
I don't know which chapter, which task.
It
Let's
doesn't
first
matter.
identify.
I think
It's gotta be
the thing
chapter
is that
7.
Verify requirement, I think.
I think it's
Is
semantics.
the best
I approach this
answer for
question
that.
as
Is it? Oh,
semantics. So a brief statement is one or two sentences, high level information, or a short description. A brief statement is not detailed information. That's the way I approach this.
That's
That's a key
true.
word, detail, yep.
You got that right. So we're in specified
Semantics.
model requirements.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
It-
matter what it's trying to achieve. It's just semantics. That's all. Just
They are
wording.
not detailed. Okay, so we are in specified model requirements talking about user stories. Okay, we'll get better and better. Our junior business analyst is modeling requirements in order to identify and validate inputs and outputs of the solution she is modeling. She approaches James, the senior BA, for advice. What modeling technique would James advise the junior BA to use? So they're going to model to identify and validate inputs and outputs of a solution. Is this called process modeling, interface analysis, Kano analysis, or prototyping? Let's eliminate one, guys.
Kano
Okay.
Kano.
Kano.
and
Kano.
prototyping.
Kano is about customer satisfaction.
Prototyping, you don't have input and outputs.
No.
No, you can eliminate. I think it's interface because you
I think it's interface as well.
yeah, inputs and
Yeah.
outputs.
B.
Yeah.
The techniques used in specified model requirements tests that James would recommend. So
That's
inputs-
how I passed the damn
that's
test.
how you passed it, Bob. Bob has a degree in mechanical engineering, guys. I
Oh,
mean, he
Ah.
knows. He knows. Incidentally, an interface analysis and a context diagram look an awfully lot alike. You know, it's like here's this thing, here's this thing. They're connected. In interface analysis, I think you have the arrows that say it feeds from here to there, but it's close.
With an interface is part of a process model. So you have internal connections within the process model between process blocks. Those are all interfaces. What the BABOK means by an interface, I would guess, is between the internal system, whatever the scope is, that goes across a boundary to something outside the scope.
Okay, thank you.
Why is that funny, Thea?
No, it's funny. Here's what's funny. Katya's watching the World Cup and she keeps doing, and so I had to put a post-it note over her face because I keep laughing. Go
I
ahead and
should
watch
turn off my
football.
TV.
We're
I'm
good.
sorry. It's a
We're
World
good.
Cup season. I'm very fan of football.
It's okay. You watch football.
That's all
Performance
right. I
report.
used to watch the Lakers and the Penguins.
Yeah.
I turned it off.
Oh, well, okay. I'll move the post-it note then because I'd rather see your face. A performance report for an in-house developed solution has shown for the past year that the application is outperforming its targets in every category. The defined KPI set the performance bar pretty high. What's the likely cause for overperformance? The end users were trained really well on the new solution, so they maximize the solution's performance. The vendor may have pushed updates improving the solution performance. Sometimes you just get lucky. The developers exceeded the performance expectations defined in the requirements and acceptance criteria. Let's eliminate one.
You
D.
get lucky. Yeah.
What is the best answer for this?
I think it's A. 1 second, the performance for an in-house solution has shown. Yeah.
Why not D?
B?
D, donkey, dog. Sorry, D for dog.
Or not D.
Because isn't it the end user who are using the solution and the capacity of a solution?
Yeah, I like A
Yeah.
because it incorporates
Yeah.
both the solution and the enterprise, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
The
I like
developer exceeded the performance defined. The developer are installing, they
Yeah.
are developing it, but they are not utilizing the solution.
And
It's
Yeah,
then
but
the
they
end
D
need
is
user.
only speaking on how well the developers built out the solution, but
Yeah,
not necessarily
right.
how
Exactly.
the end users are
Ah,
effectively using it.
so
End user are using it.
okay.
So
A,
even
That
if
makes
the
sense.
B, and D are
developer
all
even if
plausible.
your developer are building a perfect solution and your end users are not utilizing it, it will never be up to the expectation.
True.
That's
So,
my
how many people like A most?
me.
I like A.
I got one
Um,
A. How many people like D most?
I'm gonna go D. Just
D.
Okay.
because.
Oh,
D is
yeah.
Correct.
correct. This is known as gold plating, although it's not BABOK specific. It reflects more general knowledge and is a scenario that the BA may face when assessing a solution. Yes, Bob.
See, this description here of the answer is there's a difference between performance and features. So putting in extra features is probably gold plating.
Plating,
But
yes.
there's a question of performance, and if you happen to code something, and there are many measures of performance, so if you do something that's fast, you do something that's efficient. In simulation, this comes up a lot, and in real-time stuff. Um, those are very different things. So the whole question is poorly formed.
Yeah.
If
Because when I
you have,
normally think performance, I'm thinking to that regard, Bob. But because we're in knowledge area 8 and we're focused on the holistic performance, I'm looking at it from that perspective, where you have to factor in organizational culture, end users, training, knowledge, and things like that. But I agree.
my
I
perspective,
like the way you're thinking. It's just there are so many gray areas that this question does not address explicitly enough to give you the proper context.
my perspective on KPIs in this case was it could be KPIs of how many users are using the tool for a set amount of time every day or something. And if they did put in extra features, it could increase the amount of time that the users are using it. But gold plating is something that's in the BABOK. Gold plating is the idea that they did more than they were supposed to. It's like while we're under the hood, we're going to make it a little bit better. or, I'm going to really knock them out of the park with this one.
Mm.
But I do remember seeing this on the test.
I'm
It's
still,
a perfectly valid concept, but this question doesn't really address how it can be applied.
for me,
Okay.
I'm still not convinced how it is D. I don't understand why it is D. I'm trying why it has, what does it have to do with the developer?
Because they're the
Because the
ones.
developer made it better than they were supposed to, according to the KPIs that were set.
So KPIs would have been related to maybe, I don't know, maybe non-functional requirements.
Okay.
Yeah. Speed, memory use,
Yep.
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Concurrent users. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe they could
Question,
have thrown hardware at it to make it run faster.
question 2 of the
Exactly.
same scenario. What's the best course of action for the BA? We can do
Do
nothing.
nothing.
Present an assessment report to the appropriate leader and ask them for a decision to pursue further action or not. Investigate the root cause of the overperformance, or perform a cost benefit analysis to ascertain the value of the overperformance. Let's eliminate one, guys.
Do nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. Do nothing.
And then which one is the best answer according to the BABOK?
I think it's D.
Mm.
Why do you like D more than C?
Oh no. I don't do, why would I want to do root cause analysis? Because we have to put the value that it's giving, like to the cost benefit of the over performance, like to put
Okay.
the value for the solution.
Well, if you're going to do that, you probably need the root cause. You might.
Can we
Amanda,
do
what's your
nothing?
vote?
Sorry?
Yeah.
What is your vote,
Do
Amanda?
nothing. Do nothing. Do
I also do nothing.
nothing.
Okay.
Leave it
You got
alone.
2 votes for A.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I was looking at C because the performance report already exists and they're trying to figure out why is it overperforming, right? So I figured root cause, I mean, the task in itself is trying to identify why is this overperforming, right? So I would think you would need to get to root cause first to get to that answer. But
Okay.
I'm just thinking logically there.
I like your logic. I got 2 votes for A. Let's test A. So it
Whoa.
would be tempting,
Oh,
but the BA shouldn't want the business incurring costs for solutions if benefits don't warrant that level of investment. The correct answer is investigate the root cause, because the BA can recommend a course of action or determine the benefits if the benefits outweigh the cost, but they must understand the reason for the overperformance so they can calculate the cost.
What costs are they talking about? It's done. It's already been
Ex-
built.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I
Well,
mean, like,
but
over exceeding performance is a good thing, but you might have, in order to achieve that, maybe the organization invested in additional 3 servers when they can get away with 2, right? So it's costing them a lot more money for
Yeah.
cost of ownership
perfect,
wise. Yeah.
Could be. Like,
perfect answer.
Okay,
He's
is it,
a
yeah,
brilliant, good-looking dude.
Was
it
that?
is part of the, sorry, performance measure, which is 8.2, and the root cause is written is to determine the underlying cause of performance variance. So we need to understand, like as a performance measures, if your performance was supposed to be at a level A, why it is overachieving.
Yes.
That's
What
as
what
per
it is,
Babok.
what it was supposed to be, and if there's a difference,
Exactly.
what's causing it.
Yeah.
Another form that can take too is so with border crossings. Um, uh, they often say that, there are holidays and special events, but they don't try to build or meet a certain KPI. So they might say, under normal circumstances, we'll build to make sure everybody gets through within 30 minutes. But if we could build more lanes and have more staff, everyone could get through in 30 minutes at Cinco de Mayo. But they say, yeah, we're not going to spend the money for that. We're going to accept the fact that a couple times a year, you're just going to have to wait longer. And there's a balance between the infrastructure you put in and the service level. So there are always trade-offs.
Yeah.
There are. That's true. Okay, question 18. Benchmarking and market analysis is a stated technique for which of the following tasks and requirements analysis and design definition knowledge area. So in this knowledge area, benchmarking and market analysis are only in one of the techniques. I'm sorry, on only one of the tasks. So think about why you do benchmarking and why you do market analysis. Would you do those in define design options, verify requirements, specify and model requirements, or analyze potential value and recommend solution?
Shit.
Is there any we can eliminate?
Verify.
Yeah, we can eliminate B and C.
Yeah.
Okay. And so
Isn't
what
it
is the
D?
best answer?
D?
I think A, maybe.
Define design options. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think so.
yes, because we are doing benchmark. Yeah.
The technique is used in this task to identify and analyze existing solutions and market trends that allows us to define design options more effectively.
We're
Good job.
doing 7 and 8 this
Yes.
week.
Yes. Now he knows he won't have to go watch the video to see which one he is, because he's the guy, he puts it in his amazing index, and then he puts a link to it in YouTube.
Yeah,
So
I'm about 2 months behind right now.
we know you'll catch up. You're good at this. Which of the following is not a stated technique for the define requirements architecture task? So define requirements architecture purpose is ensure that the requirements collectively support one another to fully achieve the objectives. Stated technique, do you do scope modeling, interviews, process modeling, functional decomposition? So one of these is not one we do. Let's start at the bottom. Do we do functional decomposition? Yes?
Yes.
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 How about process modeling?
No.
No? Okay. Thoroughness for test purposes, we always go through all of the answers. Do we do interviews?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we do scope modeling?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree that C is the answer.
Mhm.
Let's check it. You were correct.
Yeah.
So in that technique, we have data modeling, functional decomp, interviews, organizational modeling, scope modeling, and workshops. No
Yeah.
process modeling.
That's arbitrary. I would do it differently, but again, I do process modeling for everything. So,
And his process models are beautiful. What output has a business analyst developed when they can provide a description of the current limitations of the enterprise, including how the solution performance is impacted by the enterprise? Guys, what's the description? What is this describing? Which technique is it?
And the enterprise
Price
limitation.
limitation.
Yeah.
It's written on the screen.
And so for that task, the output is solution limitation, item tracking, risk analysis result, or enterprise limitation.
Enterprise limitation.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Ta-da.
Once you know which task it is that you're working on, it's easy to figure out which the inputs are, or the stakeholders, or the output, or the task stuff. A project team is piloting a new set of processes before full deployment. Barry is a BA who is evaluating the solution in terms of delivered value. He finds that the stakeholders aren't engaging in the new processes and have instead reverted to the old way of doing things. What should Barry recommend? So, they're piloting a new set of processes before full deployment. That means we're in chapter 8,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That means that we're looking at a limitation that is stakeholders. So it's not solution limitation, it's enterprise limitation.
Enterprise.
So we're going to assess enterprise limitation. And so if they're doing this, what does the BABOK say Barry should do? Conduct coaching and mentoring as a way to focus stakeholders on the new processes. Create incentives so the stakeholders are more motivated to leave the old ways behind. Conduct more training as stakeholders probably don't understand the new processes. There's not enough information provided for a specific recommendation. How do we eliminate one?
This is interesting
Yeah.
because it
Yeah,
says
D
that
can be
they're,
eliminated. Yeah.
it only says that they're not engaging. It doesn't say why they're not engaging.
It's true.
Yeah. ABC sounds like same.
I would say C for training,
Yeah.
only because it's a transition requirement.
But not enough.
Not enough is the right answer.
Hmm.
So even though training would be a good possible strategy, we don't have enough information. We need to perform a root cause analysis on the lack of engagement before we decide it's training. It could be they don't have access to it. It could be so many other things. So we need to figure out why they're not engaging in it before we decide what the course of action is. The following statements describe how business analysts use requirements architecture. Which one is not a correct description? Let's just go through them one at a time and y'all tell me, is it a correct description or not? Business analysts use requirements architecture to understand which models are appropriate for the domain, the solution scope, and the audience. Is that correct or not?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. Okay, we're going to say it's good. Business analysts use requirements architecture to ensure every requirement links back to an objective and shows how the objective was met.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
this
Sounds
one.
better.
Yeah, I
Yes.
feel like this one. This one sounds
Yeah.
better.
It is linked to an objective.
Okay. To ensure how requirements work together to achieve the overall objective.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which one is the not?
We're getting there. It's a process.
Let's check the last one. To make trade-off decisions about requirements while considering the overall objective. Is that requirements architecture also?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so do we
Yeah.
think C is the best answer?
Yeah, see.
No,
Is
wait.
the not?
But not
Which one is
correct.
not the correct description?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what threw me off.
It's
Yeah.
not the
That's
correct.
important. That one word.
Okay.
Negative.
So it is A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
A.
got to be A because everything else
Yeah,
is relevant.
Everything
exactly.
else ties in. Ooh.
B.
Oh,
Oh,
So,
really? Oh,
This is
traceability.
traceability.
Oh, I get this one wrong all the time.
Okay, you need to go study 7.4.
Yeah.
oh,
I'm gonna practice.
Traceability is different than requirements architecture.
Yep.
Well, okay.
Hey, Dave, could you go back to that question, please? Thank you.
Let's go back because the way the BABOK talks about traceability, it's largely the same thing as requirements architecture. It's how all the elements relate to each other.
Yep.
The way I think of it is they map horizontally across the phases from the original problem through to the testing. So that would be traceability. But the vertical thing is the that's the requirements or the design architecture, and that's how the elements relate to each other. So both of those are a form of traceability, but the BABOK doesn't talk about the horizontal traceability. It only talks about the vertical traceability, and that is the architecture. So I have no idea what this question is getting at. I mean, traceability is different, but the way the BABOK defines it, it's the same.
Okay, so traceability is literally, does it go back to the business need, and does it go forward to the design? And requirements architecture is used to be sure that you got the right models for the domain, the scope, and the audience, that you got the right elements in your requirements. For instance, who provided that requirement? What does it apply to? You know, so that you can be sure that you got everything complete. Okay, we're getting close to the end here, guys. Which task of solution evaluation identifies root causes and describes how enterprise factors limit the solution's value realization? So, identifies root causes, and we're talking about limit the solution's value realization. So which task is this? Is it analyze potential value and recommend solution? Assess solution limitations? Measure solution performance? Or assess enterprise limitations?
It's
Assess
not
enterprise limitations.
enterprise.
Why not?
How do y'all know that?
Enterprise factors. Yeah.
Enterprise factors. That's
Yeah.
right. There's your key.
Yeah.
Assessing enterprise limitations determine how factors external to the solution are restricting the value. A data dictionary contains two types of data elements. What are they? Simple and complex, unvariable and multivariable, primitive and advanced, primitive and composite. Let's eliminate one.
Simple and complex.
Univariable and multivariable, whatever.
Yep. Okay.
What is the correct answer?
D.
I think it's
Yeah.
D for Dalmatian.
Yeah.
I think I've had this question before.
You're right. You got primitive and composite information both in a data dictionary. Peter and his team had defined desired performance measures to assess the performance of a solution. Many of these measures are new to the organization. What's Peter's next step? Let's stop right here. What task is it? Have they just done?
Performance.
Assess
measure.
performance.
Assess.
Yeah, measure performance assessment.
Yeah, the first
Measure
task.
solution performance.
Yeah, something like that.
No, they're
Measure
defined.
solution performance, the first task.
Define
what's
performance
next?
Is it
measures and use
defined?
the
Is that
data collected to evaluate the effectiveness of a solution in relationship to the value it brings. We don't know if we have a solution or if we're building a solution. It's new to the organization, so maybe we're building a solution still. I don't know yet. Let's go on. So what's his next step? If the measures are new to the organization, ensure that the enterprise has methods in place to capture the measurements, assign ownership of and determine the frequency of measurements, gain approval for the new measures, or trace the performance measures to business objectives.
just a quick question, Thea?
Yes.
When we're under knowledge area 8, chapter 8, I thought we should always operate with the mindset that a solution's already, is a form of solution already in place.
That's
Is that
true.
accurate?
That's
Okay.
why I was confused about this one. I don't know if it's 7 or 8
Okay.
because it says these measures are new to the organization and they have defined the measures, but we don't know if the solution's in place.
Can be
Okay.
prototype because it says it can be built a prototype or already existing solution.
If any
Chapter
part of the solution or prototype is in place, it can be in chapter 8. If it
exactly.
isn't in place, and we don't know if it is, it's going to be chapter 7 or 6, depending. So, but once they identify the measures, what is the next thing that they have to do?
Analyze.
Assign ownership and
Trace.
determine.
I feel it's trace the performance measure to
Yeah, I
business
would say,
objective.
Yeah, analyze performance
New.
measures.
No, is it?
I would say trace, but B also sounds good, but I'm not sure. If they're brand new, the measures are new, you may need to validate them against the overall business objectives.
How about validate that you have a way to capture the performance
Oh,
measures?
yeah.
You can't use performance measures if you can't capture them, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I love the idea of assigning ownership of and frequency, but if you can't capture them, you can't do that either. And you don't want to
Yeah.
gain approval for them if you can't capture them.
Yeah.
And tracing them to a business objective doesn't matter if you can't capture them. Let's check can't capture.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
It was almost anticlimactic.
Just so you know, I looked up traceability or trace requirements. The problem is that the definition that the BABOK gives talks about both the horizontal traceability to a degree and the vertical traceability to a degree. So the BABOK is not very clear on what that term means. So if anybody is confused, I understand why. Because we've been over this for years, and my impression I always got was the architecture, but it does talk about going across the phases to a degree, but it's not very clean.
So learn what requirements architecture is so that you can see the difference. Okay, guys,
Do
we
what the BABOK says.
made basically a 73 on chapter 7 and a 79 on chapter 8. So we're doing really great on chapter 8. We're not doing so great on chapter 7. I'd like for you to be getting at least a 75 on each chapter to be able to take the test. We're going to continue to add chapters. So let's add chapter 6 for next time. And we'll do 6, 7, and 8. Yes,
Yeah.
Bob.
Given how goofy some of these questions were, and compared to the quality that you'll encounter on the test, I think you're actually doing pretty well.
I'm not worried at all. I do want you to be consistent and finish the race. Okay.
The quick question: when do you
Yes.
recommend that we purchase the exam from Watermark?
I recommend that you purchase the exam this month because you get a $50 discount this month. You don't have to turn in your application. I'm sorry, this is the application fee. Do the application fee this month. You don't have to turn in your application immediately. You have a year to turn it in. Please don't wait that long. And once your application is accepted, you've got a year to take the test. So purchase your application this month for the test. If you want to, go ahead and do the application and the test fee, but the application specifically, do it this month.
Okay. And what about the Watermark practice exams?
If you want to do that, go ahead and do it now.
Okay.
You get the discount. Let me give you the discount real quick. Discount for Watermark. It's this right here, Tampa 21. You get 40% off of the Watermark exams. And let me give you the URL. so that you can sign up for it. I'll drop it in the chat.
Excellent. Thank you.
There you go. Well, that didn't help. Let me do it this way. HTTPS, cool, thanks. Watermark.
And that link still works.
Yeah,
I
it
got
did
that.
work for me as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
And to use it, you're going to go down here to new subscribers and subscribe and go in that way. It will give you the option of when to put in that discount code, and this gives you the test bank for unlimited. You can use it, 20 hours a day if you want to. Let me show you one thing though. As you get in here on your own, you've got warm-up exams. You can do these. These are going to be exactly like what we've been doing. It'll give you the answer after each one. You've got your drill that way you can focus on a specific knowledge area. If you add in techniques or underlying competencies, this is going to be about half your test instead of just that knowledge area. If you go down here to this exam simulation, it's not going to give you the answers after each question. It's literally the same kind of mix as you're going to have of the different knowledge areas, 30% of chapter 7, etc. And it's timed. So look at this, it's giving you 3.5 hours, and you can see how far it takes you. It also gives you, here's one. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. This is what I call essay questions, and that's a bad name for it because you don't write an essay, you read an essay. Here is your scenario. I encourage you to go in and read the question, read the answers, and then read your scenario. Then it's going to give you the second question on the same scenario, and you can go in and figure out where that's at and answer that one and more. You're going to have probably 5 of these scenario questions on your test. And for each one, you're going to have 5 or 6 questions to go with it. For some reason, they always seem to put these at the very beginning of the test, which intimidates people. I tell all my students, whenever you first open it up, just skip to question 25. And that way you're answering questions that are more like this one. The question's kind of like we've been answering. You do not have any not questions. It's like all of these are true except one. You're not going to have any of those on the test.
Unless the case questions do not intimidate you, in which case just plow ahead.
Right.
Go on the attack.
We recorded the session on talking about how to fill out your application and strategies for taking the test. I don't remember if I said this, so I'm going to say it now. At the bottom of your UI, whenever you're taking the test, it shows you all the question numbers, and it will show you which ones are answered and which ones are not. It will also show you which ones you have added a flag to and which ones are not. You have to decide what adding a flag means. For me, I'm thinking I might go back and re-examine this one later. I'm not 100% sure this is the right answer. What I ended up doing is going back and going, you know what? I'm going to trust myself and just going on. Yes, Amanda.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening when you were talking about the discount code. I wasn't paying attention. And I just kind of saw
I'll
it flash
give it
on
to you
the
here.
screen.
It's Tampa 21.
Oh, and where do I put that in when I subscribe?
If you look in the chat, we put the URL in there.
Got it. Thank you.
And that will give you 40% off, which basically means you can do 90 days for the price of 30 or something like that.
That's great. Thank you.
So as we are getting close to the end here, this is a perfect time for you to subscribe. If you're going to, it's not mandatory, it's not required. The recordings that we have on YouTube since 2021 is the same stuff. It's just not testing your knowledge as much. It's testing, it's like you got to listen to the conversation of the whole class. You want to know whenever you sit down in front of that computer on that day that you've done everything you can and that you're prepared. So
and just to clarify the process, the application comes first, then you need to wait and hear back whether your application was successful before you can sit the exam. Is that right?
Let me walk through the whole process. About a month to 2 months before you plan on taking your test, you need to turn in your application. So this month they've got $50 off USD for the application fee. So go ahead and pay that now, even if you're not ready to turn in your application, because it saves you $50. Use the Excel spreadsheet to compile your application together, because it will tell you, do you have enough hours? Do you have enough hours in the right knowledge areas, etc. Then copy and paste all of your stuff into the application and submit it. I encourage you to watch that recording, because it talks about things like put it in BA language, don't put it in PM language, just in case, things like that. And you only need about 2 sentences to describe any element, whether it's professional development or your work. Beyond that, you don't have enough room in the form. Turn it in, and you're going to get 1 of 4 responses. The longest one is that they're going to do a full audit. That's probably going to be a 2-week thing. The shortest one is within 5 minutes, they're going to say you're approved. You will get an email with information that says you're approved or not whenever that happens. And please, again, watch that recording so you know about the references and stuff. And then you have, once it gets approved, you've got a year to schedule it. So you can schedule it that day. As soon as it's approved, maybe give yourself 24 hours, because it's got to flow into the PSI.
You can do the whole thing within about 2 days, because that's what I did.
Well, if it's approved fast enough, yes, you can.
Yeah.
And then set your reservation for your test. I encourage you to think about what time of day can you take tests best? Give yourself time to get there 30 minutes early and go through the security process before it's time to take your test. And then, I'm sorry, I backed up. Pay your fee for your test and then schedule your test. So there's 2 fees. There's your application fee and your test fee. And many of y'all, if your organization belongs to IIBA, they get credits that they can use to pay for your application and your test fees. So check to see. Maybe it's true. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
I got, yeah. Can I have the Slack access? So I saw you guys have a group for the technique
Yes, ma'am.
to
I was
study.
waiting to show you the Slack stuff. So let me see. I've got it here. Okay, let me get you into the right place. You are in our domestic group, and I need to add you. Jesse, if you don't mind, directly to me in the chat, not to the whole team, give me your email address, please.
Okay, sure.
And I'm just saying not to the whole team, because that way not everybody has it, and that way it works. I'm trying to be considerate of everybody.
Okay.
And I'm going to move this on another screen, so once I get her very secure email, I don't put it on the screen for everybody to see.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that.
Yeah. But by the way, Atia, I'm sitting for my CCBA, not CBAP. Yeah.
You are sitting for your CCBA, so you're going to be ahead of schedule.
Yeah. I'll tell
Okay.
you the news.
It's the
after.
same information for your CCBA. It's just not 3.5 hours and 150 questions or whatever it is. It's fewer questions and fewer time. Are you aware of all that, Jesse?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I've sent you the invitation to join. You have in this, you have our file repository with all this information. Incidentally, guys, if you have not done the Techniques Group 6 and Techniques Group 8, I highly recommend you do those. If you don't do all the rest, I can't make you. But 6 is the things like cardinality and crow's foot notation and the stuff that I had trouble with. 8 is the calculations. like how to calculate return on investment and stuff. But all these are here. Jesse, you might also look at the requirements for versus designs document. It's only 3 pages, but it really makes it clear how to tell the
Yep.
difference.
Okay, sure.
Okay, guys, that's all for today. We'll do 6, 7, and 8 next time. And I'm confident you're going to continue to keep improving. Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks all.
Thank
Have a good
you.
one.
Thank you.
Bye.
I hope the
Thank
World Cup
you.
turns out the way you want it.
No, they lost.
Oh no, because you weren't watching anymore. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.